How do you keep your family healthy this season when it feels like everyone around you is getting sick? I use Sambicol. It's drug-free and scientifically tested to help support your immunity. Sambicol has the power of black elderberry in every purple bottle. It comes in tablets, syrup, chewables, or my kids' favorite, the great-tasting gummies. So this cold and flu season, support your family's immunity with Sambicol Black Elderberry. It's the only one I trust for my family. And best of all, my kids love it too.
Back here on the Bernie and Sid Show, heard everywhere on the 77 WABC app. You know, I remember actually, before we bring him in, Bill O'Reilly went to an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert at Jones Beach. I remember him talking about that. We'll ask him about that in a minute. But right now, I just mentioned his New York Times bestseller, the book, The United States of Trump. Mr. O'Reilly is going to be at the Paramount in Huntington on December 15th, a very funny show called Understanding Trump. Funny and insightful. Understanding Trump, Paramount in Huntington, December 15th. And his website and podcast, BillO'Reilly.com, his rivals every other one of them out there.
It's better.
For politics and all that stuff. It's great. Great columns, funny, all that stuff. Anyway, we'll bring him in now. Good morning to you, Mr. O'Reilly.
Guys, thanks for having me back. And I just was a little perplexed that Sid had to spell his name, S-I-D.
You know what's funny about that, Bill?
You may be underestimating your listeners. I think they have it. Well, I think they've got... Now, Bernie, there's I-E or Y.
Yeah, it's tough.
Sid, it's just Sid.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bill O'Reilly, my former co-worker and buddy, and I know you've heard his name, Christopher Mad Dog Russo, to this day will text me and say Sid, S-Y-D. And I worked with the guy for 6 years.
Well, but he's on LSD.
Yeah, he's not a good example to us.
Everybody in the business knows that.
Right. The kid's handicapped.
But we love him.
So listen, Bill O'Reilly, first of all, Jacob deGrom, the Mets, Pyrrhic victory. I mean, we don't care or what?
I like Jacob deGrom. I think this guy is one of the best pitchers since Sandy Koufax.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he gets no run support. He's got to throw 7 innings of no-run ball because the Mets, whenever he pitches, don't hit. And the guy is just resilient. He never bad-mouths his teammates, and he's a good guy. I know him a little bit, and he's a really good guy, so I'm happy for his success.
Very good. Well, listen, Bill O'Reilly, I must say, yesterday, the impeachment hearings, you were live tweeting like, I don't know, President Trump. I mean, it was very interesting as well.
Thank you. It was a fiasco, and as an American, I'm tired of all of this. Trump did it. Trump didn't do it. I'm just tired of it. But I'm looking at this from an American. I'm an American citizen. I love my country. I want the best for my country. And this is just awful. Because if you compare it to, forget about Andrew Johnson, I could get into that with you guys, but it's not relevant to today. But Nixon and Clinton are. And if you saw what happened in both of those cases, and you compare it to this, this is a contrived attempt to bring down a sitting president with less than a year left in his first term. Let the folks decide this. You have nothing. The guys yesterday, they had nothing. No. And the telling moment was Taylor. Taylor was an authoritative guy and an ambassador, and he knows the area. But when the Republicans said to him, "Are you aware of the Justice Department investigation into corruption in 2016, and that may extend into Ukraine?" And he said, "Will you repeat the question?"
Right.
And I went over. He heard the question. He didn't have any answer for it. And this whole thing is a fiasco. And that's how I processed it.
Yeah, he was buying time with that. Would you repeat the question?
And I saw some editorial today, Bill O'Reilly, that said that, in the end, Bill Taylor and this guy, Kent, they brought up some things that may be a bit alarming. None of it worthy of impeachment, but may be a bit alarming. So if, in fact, they weren't your leadoff hitters, talking about Jacob deGrom, maybe down the road somewhere they would bring some attention to the president. I didn't even hear that. Did you hear anything yesterday that said it may be a little alarming what they're saying about President Trump?
Well, look, alarming is an interesting word. So if you read the United States of Trump, you know that Donald Trump is obsessed with the Obama administration because he believes President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden actually tried to do things to undermine his campaign and then his presidency, and he wants that out. That's the genesis of all of this. He's obsessed with it. So when he gets an opportunity to expose that in his mind, to expose that, he's going to take the opportunity. And so, yes, he did ask the Ukraine president to look into all of this, including Biden. That's true. But there's a context to it, in the sense that he wants to expose the corruption that he believes took place. And now we have a Justice Department investigation that's doing just that. And so if you look at the context, it's not about dirt on a political candidate, although that would have been a positive consequence had Trump gotten something on Biden, which he doesn't even need anymore, because Biden has really taken the hit on this Ukraine thing. Way more than Trump is. All right? So that's what I'm talking about, that there's no context provided for any of this to the American people. It's like, oh, Trump is a corrupt guy. Trump tried to make the Russians do this, and now he's in Ukraine. I mean, next is going to be Romania. I know it's going to be Romania next. I mean, they're coming. And then it's going to be Tierra del Fuego down in Argentina. He knows somebody who lives there, and he wanted dirt on somebody. And I mean, it never ends. This is not impeachable. It's not going to remove him. He's not going to be removed. So all of you Trump haters, that's not going to happen. So why are we doing this? You have nothing. That was your lead yesterday, and tomorrow you bring in an ambassador who Trump fired. Well, what do you think she's going to say? Come on. I mean, and I'm not even going to watch it tomorrow. I'm going to be in California. Actually, I have to fly out there to do a show. I'm not even going to watch it because I know what it's going to be.
Right. I'm sorry I watched it now. I'm sorry I watched yesterday's, but I will say this, Bill O'Reilly. Go to BillO'Reilly.com for the best information on this impeachment hearing that you can get, except after tomorrow, because he's not going to watch. But Hunter Biden. They won't call Hunter Biden. They won't call the whistleblower. They won't call Burisma executive, the American guy, Devin Archer. I mean, there's no due process for Trump. His lawyers can't cross-examine witnesses. And the information is second, third, and fourth hand. A guy overheard a conversation in a restaurant, his aide did, in Warsaw, Poland. This wouldn't even be admissible in a court of law.
And they were speaking Polish. And the guy doesn't speak Polish. But he overheard the conversation, and he heard the word Biden in Polish. It's the same as it is in English, so he picked it up. Look, it's a big farce. And I just go back. If anybody thinks that Donald Trump didn't want to get dirt on Joe Biden, they're in their own zone layer. Of course he did. Of course he did. All right? And Hillary Clinton wanted to get dirt on Donald Trump. And Barack Obama wanted to get dirt on Donald Trump. Okay? This is how it works. This is what politics is. And I'm just amazed that my country has come to this point where we have these televised hearings about what? For the first time in my life, I was begging for Dr. Phil to come on.
It's true.
Get Phil in here, please.
That's funny. Really? Bill O'Reilly, BillO'Reilly.com, his newest article, Michael Bloomberg for president. So the Democrats, they're starting to say, okay, we got to jump in now. The president is up for impeachment. These other 12 folks ain't getting it done. Debate number 5 coming up, as you know, Bill, on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So Deval Patrick jumps in yesterday. But Bloomberg jumps in. I brought up Bloomberg to you a couple of weeks ago, and I think you even called me Sydney. You were so upset because you said, come on, he doesn't have a shot. He doesn't have a shot. But I did read your column, and you did say that if the Democrats come to their senses, there could be a bit of a rumble here between Bloomberg and Donald Trump. Have you changed your mind on Bloomberg being a decent competitor?
He's not going to compete with the folks, all right? And he knows that. I mean, Bloomberg knows that. Bloomberg isn't sitting there in his big townhouse going, ooh, I think I'm going to win this. He knows he's not going to win it. Nobody's going to look, millions of Americans drink Dr. Pepper, all All right, that immediately eliminates Michael Bloomberg.
Right.
All right? I mean, all you got to do is
funny.
just, when you debate Bloomberg, you bring out a big bottle of Dr. Pepper and you just put it on a dais. And you go, this guy's going to ban it. Is that what you want? He's okay with legalizing pot, but don't you drink that Dr. Pepper. I mean, come on. His whole persona is that he thinks Biden is damaged, which is true, and that he is a moderate like Biden. But if you just step back, I love the step back line. The Democratic Party is going to nominate one of the wealthiest individuals, the poster boy for income inequality. This is what the Democratic Party is going to do? They're never going to do that because the party has been hijacked by the far left. So Bloomberg, he gets in because he despises Trump. I sat next to Bloomberg at a dinner party at Barbara Walters' house. How about that for name dropping?
That's pretty good. That's Pat O'Brien right there.
It's not as good as Earth, Wind, and Fire, but it's close. All right? And I sat next to him, and he was like dripping with loathing about Donald Trump. And so he's getting in primarily to just decimate Trump and have fun doing it. And, he's not going to be in a debate until what? Maybe January or February? Because he's got a poll and he's got to do this, he's got to do that. So he's basically there, giving Trump jazz. He knows he's not going to win. But what else does Bloomberg have to do? I mean, he's got a great house in Bermuda, but, he's a little tiring once in a while. So that's why he's doing it.
I urge you folks to go to BillO'Reilly.com. The column is Michael Bloomberg for President, and Bill talks about the Romney syndrome. Read it and learn and laugh. It's funny. What about Deval Patrick jumping in?
There's a big name.
Well, I mean, there's
a big.
But think about it. Obama is backing Deval Patrick.
That's right. They're buddies.
Yes,
they're buddies. Now, there's more here than meets the eye. I hate to use a cliche, but there's more here. So Deval Patrick, why on earth would he leave his house in the Berkshires and compete when he knows nobody knows him? No one. All right? And what is he going to run on? That I'm not quite as radical as Elizabeth Warren? I mean, yeah. I don't understand it. But what people should know is that Patrick and Obama buds. I mean, they're very, very tight. So that says to me, wow, Obama, what is he doing here? Why is he? Because they talked it over and they're commiserating. So what is this? And I can't answer that question right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's the only intriguing part of Deval Patrick.
Well, I'll tell you what's even more intriguing, because you got Deval Patrick, who's a nobody, like you said, Bill. No one's ever heard of the guy, but he's in constant contact with Barack Obama. You got the other guy who's actually leading right now, who spent 8 years as his right-hand man, as vice president, and he won't talk to him.
Well, I'm not sure about that. Biden and Obama have a good relationship, and Biden's got a lot of Obama people out in the field. But Biden is so damaged. That's why they're keeping him away. You haven't seen Biden around. And they know that they're trying to let this blow over, this Hunter Biden thing. But he's so damaged. What could he do? Because he can't deny it like Trump. He can't say, I didn't do it, I didn't do anything wrong. Everybody knows he did do something wrong. Right. I mean, it's not a crime, but it's certainly unethical. It certainly makes our country look bad. And how are you going to justify? Well, I didn't do anything wrong, and everybody knows it. No, that's not quite true. Everybody knows you shouldn't have done that. Yep. If you had a gutsy moderator in a debate, that's what they would say, instead of these little AI automatons that they get up there, and which are just ridiculous. So Biden, he was my pick. I thought he was going to get it. But now I know the big shots within the Democratic National Committee are very worried about not only Biden, but the whole thing. And now that they flopped yesterday, they have no chance now to get Trump on impeachment. there's real consternation.
Absolutely.
Inside.
It's great. I'm loving it. I got to tell you, Bill O'Reilly, look, the Paramount Huntington, December 15th, Understanding Trump. It's a funny show. Sid and I are going to be there.
I can't wait to go to that.
When Earth, Wind, and Fire is opening. No, that's a lie. I'm sorry. I can't do that.
That's fine.
And the New York Times bestseller,
Right.
United States of Trump. Bill O'Reilly, we thank you very much.
All right, guys. Always fun to talk with you. Thanks for having me back.
You're the best, Bill. The absolute best. Bill O'Reilly, thank you very much.